Coming up, we have your June 2024 Las Vegas real estate market update.
Hey everyone, I'm Steve.
And I'm Kristen.
We are the Thomas Group with Real Broker, your local Las Vegas and Henderson Realtors, here today to bring you your June 2024 real estate market update.
Yeah, and we have a lot to talk about today. We're going to discuss where mortgage rates are headed the rest of the year. We think, what most people think. Land availability and housing affordability, obviously very important to a lot of people.
Luxury rental market as well as luxury market.
Yep.
Lots going on.
All right, well, let's get into it. So let's start with the median price of single family homes. That was $473,000, up almost a percentage point from the previous month, and we're up 7% from the same time last year. So again, that very, very low lack of inventory is really helping to push up that demand, even though interest rates are staying high, which let's talk about. So right now, interest rates for the average buyer on a conventional are averaging around 7%. I've seen a little bit lower, I've seen a little bit higher, just kind of depending on where you're at. And where are we headed for the rest of the year?
I think it's going to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been saying this for a long time and giving you our reasons why we believe, things are going to stay the same, which we won't talk about again now. But yeah, I mean, it just goes to show, like even in 7%, high 7s, even when we hit touching 8s, homes were still selling.
Yeah. And why they're staying the same is inflation has been sticky, kind of everything's just, the Fed's not really seeing where they want things to be, and they're probably not going to do a rate cut. Maybe one rate cut, we'll see, but that's not going to make a 0.25%. It's not going to make a huge difference on mortgage interest rates. So not that they're directly linked, but we won't get into that right now. All right, let's talk about the number of units sold. 2,401 single family homes sold. That's up 2.7% from the previous month, so a small bump, and up 3.7% from the same time last year. Overall, the whole market is up 8.2% over 2023. So despite rates, like as you said, sticking high.
And being higher than they were last year. Yeah, I mean, the people just, as we talked about before, people just adjust to the new normal. And I mean, Nevada is still such an in-demand, Las Vegas in particular, is such an in-demand city for people to move to. So I think it's one of the number one.
That's what, okay, I had notes written down. And that's what it was. I remember, so I heard on the radio on NPR that a study that we are finally the number one, relocation city, I think. No, the number one retirement state.
Yes.
We finally beat, I'm glad you said that. I didn't know what my notes were. We finally beat out Florida.
For
the number one retirement.
One of my clients actually,
one of my clients told me it too.
No, it's like one of an agent that I coach.
Oh yeah.
He was telling me that the retirement, and I was like, really? But it honestly, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I know for certain people that with certain conditions, actually a dry heat is better
for your arthritis.
I'm not sure what exactly, but I know it's it's a big destination. Weather's great all year round.
Yeah.
Very active things to do and lifestyles. Lots of amazing communities to be able to pick from as well. So I think that's great.
Florida's running into issues with insurance.
And the condos in Florida as well is
condos,
is big.
exactly.
Yeah, big.
So so we're the number one. That's what we're the number one.
For us.
Yeah, and that was actually, my clients told me about that as well.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on that, if you're thinking about moving here and retiring, we've got a retirement specialist, Luana, on our team. She knows everything about estate planning and anything you need. So call Luana if you need any help.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's talk about the factors that are influencing this low inventory. So new listings are actually up. They're up 8.7% from the previous month and up 20% from the same time last year.
Wow,
that's good. That's promising. So is that affecting our inventory? It is.
Okay.
We have 3,869 single family homes available for sale. That's up 11.3% from the previous month. And we are up 6% from the same time last year. Doesn't feel like it, does it? When you're out there shopping with buyers, it certainly doesn't feel like the inventory is increased.
What I would say is it feels very, like we always talk about real estate being local, but I feel like it's hyper local. Like as an example, I have a condo on the market right now that's actually priced to sell, and it's been on the market for a week now, and we've really not had any showings. And I couldn't believe it, because in other areas where we've been working with buyers in that similar type of price point, there's been multiple offers, and it really depends on where you're shopping in town.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're local, because we have a lot of locals that watch and listen to our market updates, if you're thinking about selling your home, you know, really do some due diligence into, you know, what's happening in your neighborhood, and that'll give you a good idea, because what's happening in one place might not be the same as what's happening in another.
Yeah, absolutely. And then finally, we'll look at the months of inventory, and that is at 1.6 months, which, although it's up from the previous month and up from last year, 1.6 months is really still heavily favoring, very heavily favoring the seller. So that's why, although the inventory has increased, it certainly hasn't increased enough to make a huge difference. I mean, we've been seeing multiple offers, you know, properties in that desirable price point, like around the 400,000s in the desirable areas, like Summerlin, Henderson, the Northwest.
Yeah, I mean, even in the $1 million price point.
Oh, that's almost even,
like, it's even more competitive.
More in demand.
Yeah, the luxury market has been doing, as we've been saying, has been doing really well.
Yeah.
And just kind of talking about the luxury market, because I think a lot of people, often when I talk to them, especially investors that I'm talking to about, you know, opportunities in Las Vegas, they're often surprised about the luxury market and what kind of demand is out here. So just for perspective, I did a little bit of research on the last 6 months. So in the last 6 months, there has been 55 properties that have rented over $10,000, right, per month, for over $10,000 per month. Now, what do you think the most expensive property per month that has been leased for in the last 180 days?
Oh, I know. It's the 100,000 one in McDonald Highlands.
$100,000 a month.
They rented it for Super Bowl. Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
they rented it for Super Bowl.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, like, so there's always, like, you know, always things happening here in town.
Well, not just that, they rent, like, it's been rented again now for $90,000 a month. So after that, it's getting rented. It's getting rented. The most expensive one right on the market right now, what do you think? How much per month?
On the market, I would say 50,000.
75,000.
Where's that?
75,000. That's also in McDonald Highlands.
And the nice thing for any investors, keep in mind, McDonald Highlands is really the only luxury neighborhood, when you're in like a guard-gated neighborhood, that as of right now allows 30-day rentals. So that's why they're able to command, because, you know, some people, they might rent that for the month and then only use it for a couple days, but to be able to have that flexibility in the lease, whereas most other places, like anything in Summerlin, minimum 6-month lease.
Most parts of town, and like myself and 3 other partners own a real estate investment business, and we have these medium-term rental properties. So if any of you guys are out there listening and you think this is quite interesting, I want to learn a little bit more about that, call me. Love to have a conversation with you and, you know, talk about some opportunities, because I was just talking to Ben, one of our partners, this morning about an opportunity that we found last night, which is really exciting, but it's a $5 million property. So if anyone is looking in that price point, let us know, and we'll certainly love to partner up with you. So yeah, luxury rental market going absolutely bananas. I think it's one of these places where, you know, these high net worth individuals might want to kind of just test the waters a little bit, you know, stay in one of these really affluent communities where they can network with other people that are of similar, you know, beliefs and characteristics and whatnot as themselves. I think that there's a huge, and I think this is something that is often overlooked, like the networking abilities and potential when you're in those places can be extraordinary. Yeah,
I agree. Good points all around, Steve. Okay, so something else that we wanted to talk about is tying into the lack of inventory and affordability issues. So Redfin surveyed 3,000 people, and they asked them, like, how important are these different voting issues for you in the upcoming election? Well, Gen Z which is the ones under millennials. The one that they said was the most important consistently across all of Gen Z was housing affordability, which is really, really, I guess, mind-boggling when you think that that's even like above abortion or like.
I mean, it's changed in such a large.
For them, they're the most affected.
I mean, think about when Kristen and I, we bought our first house before we even had a real estate license.
Yeah.
And this was over 10 years ago. But when we bought our first house, it was a lovely townhome in a great area, and we paid like $250,000 for it. And interest rates were low. It was affordable. Like, I feel like at that
then
point,
everyone in Vegas could, on a dancer's salary, on a server's salary, you could afford to buy.
You could get a decent place.
Yeah, a decent.
But now, like
hard.
the first time home buyers that you and I have been helping, like 450,000 is what you're looking at now.
At a high interest rate.
In a high interest rate in a nicer area.
Yeah.
So I completely, like, I can empathize with that. And what that was in that project that you were just telling me about, that's really interesting. The one that's going up, that the BLM land just got sold.
Yes.
50 million or so.
Yeah. So I think what a lot of people don't realize, if you're flying into Las Vegas, you see all this land around. But actually, most of that is owned by the Bureau of Land Management, and so it can't be sold to developers. It takes a long time to actually like turn that land around and turn release it into homes. 88% of land in Clark County is owned by the Bureau of Land Management.
Oh, I didn't know that.
88%.
Wow.
So I guess I would say, first of all, going back to the voting thing, obviously it's important that you vote in all different areas, but really when it comes down to housing affordability, what's going to have the biggest impact on you guys, on everybody, is your local government. The federal government could put in maybe like a first-time home buyer program, but what is your local government doing to help increase the speed at which BLM land can be released, which some of our senators have been working on that. So if this is important to you in the upcoming election, even if you don't want to vote for either of these people as president, it's still important to vote, research, and do your due diligence for local. Really important. So getting back to the BLM land, like you were saying, there's land just north of
Centennial, is it?
Yeah, it's by Centennial. It's just north of Lone Mountain, tucked up into like where all the like Red Rock Canyon is as well.
Kind of like northwest section of
Northwest,
town.
yeah. The southernmost part of the Northwest. That BLM land just got released to builder developer Olympia companies. They're the ones that did Sky Canyon. They did a lot of Southern Highlands.
They developed the Southern Highlands golf
course.
So these guys know what they're doing. Like these are not your come in, developers, never heard of them before. I mean, they've developed some of the most significant master plan communities here in town.
Right. So, really great ones. Really great ones.
Yeah.
I think people they always hear about Summerlin, and then we try and redirect them. Well, you have Southern Highlands, you have Sky Canyon. So this is super exciting. There's going to be 3,000 homes. They're starting construction. There's a lot of infrastructure that has to go in. So the actual development of the homes won't be happening for a couple of years. I believe 2026, but that's going to be really good for inventory.
And not only inventory, but for affordability, because that's what the price point they're targeting is.
The price point is going to be,
first-time home buyers moving up. And I think they're going to have some luxury properties in there as well, but
like
for
Sky Canyon.
For the most part, probably.
Sky Canyon has some homes over $1 million, but for the most part,
in the 400, 500.
In the pocket,
yeah.
So all really exciting stuff. But vote, research, and vote in your local election too, because housing affordability, it's so important.
And just can we, talking about again like the finite amount of land here.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize when we first moved here that we basically live in a bowl. And there's mountains all the way around us.
Yeah.
So, after these little pockets of land, these 3,000 homes here, 500 here, 1,000 here, blah, 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 that's gone. What now?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, like what do people start looking further out afield? Or does just the price of real estate in Las Vegas keep going up and up and up until, the demand outweighs the supply?
There's going to have to be policies put into place to help either release that BLM land or something.
Be interesting, for sure.
glad someone smarter than me is gonna figure it out.
Oh, it's me.
Yeah. All right, let's look at condos and townhomes now. The median sales price last month was $295,000. That's up 1.7% from the previous month and up 7.3% from the same time last year. So again, we're still seeing that it's not even that slow in the grand scheme of things. We're seeing the creep up.
It's about the same, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's fast. In a normal market, we would want to be seeing 3 to 4% appreciation over a year, not over a couple months. There were 690 units sold, up 11.1% from the previous month and up 1% from the same time last year. I forgot to talk about pending for single family, but we will about condo and townhomes. Pendings are down slightly, about 2% from.
Just out of curiosity, or single families?
Single families are the same, so we expect to see kind of the similar. But I mean, both. We're going to see similar heading into next month, similar data. New listings for condo and townhomes also up, which is maybe why you're seeing a little bit more competition for your listing. Up 4.7% from the previous month, and up 25% from the same time last year. So that's good.
That's good.
But location, because our colleague Christina listed a condo in Spring Valley, which is a little bit more central than where yours was, and they had like a ton of showings and got a full price offer. So yeah, like as you said, location's important. Inventory for condo and townhomes is up 6.1% from the previous month. It's up 43% from the same time last year. Inventory.
Wow.
Yeah. But even so,
but there was like
nothing.
I was gonna say like 600 home.
There was nothing. So we're at 1.9 months of inventory for condos and townhomes, which is down a little bit from the previous month, up 40% from the same time last year. But that doesn't matter really because we're still at 1.9 months, which is
favoring the seller.
It's favoring the seller. Yeah. That's all I have, Stephen Thomas.
Am I in trouble?
No.
I only get called my last name when I'm in trouble here. All right, well, that's good for me. If anyone has any thoughts on, any of the topics that we've been speaking about, would love to hear them in the comments. Of course, if you're thinking about relocating here, if you're thinking about selling, investing, upsizing, downsizing, we are your team. We've got someone in our team that is an expert in all different areas of real estate, not just Kristen and myself. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon.
Bye.